What's up, everyone? This is Isaac with Hunger Smash Fitness coming to you once again with my amazing co-host John over at My Block Strongest Man. And today we have some fantastic guests coming on the show. I think you're all familiar with Caustin Sutton by now. We talk about him. We've had him on a couple times. He's a great friend. And Tim Buck, we've had on once before as well. And we have a new guest that we haven't had on before. So Abbs. So Tim and Allie both won their class at South Carolina Strongest. So that's primarily what we're going to discuss today. And then next week we have a couple of the other winners that will be coming on to John's channel when he hosts it. So first off, I guess let's say, Caustin, you've been doing a lot of work trying to bring Strongman back to South Carolina. What kind of got you into scheduling this show and picking the events and everything in the first place?
Okay, so last year I was looking at the Strongman Corporation website, and I found there was a state chair who lived in Conway, and Conway is like 20 minutes outside of Myrtle Beach. And I wanted to start training with somebody locally. So I tried reaching out to the guy. He never accepted my friend request, never responded back to my messages. And after like 8 months, I reached out to Dion directly, and I was like, hey, is there anybody that's a state chair for South Carolina or what? And she's like, no, we're actually looking for somebody. Are you interested? And I was like, no, not at all. And then I talked to my buddy, Chad Clark, who's a state chair in Virginia, and he's like, I think you should do it. So I talked to Dion on the phone, signed the paperwork, became the state chair. And then like a day later, I was looking at my email yesterday. A day later, the Tough Expo reached out to us and wanted a competition. I was planning the first competition I hosted to be in like a parking lot, like every other competition I've competed in. But they wanted to do like a full-fledged expo. So I had a little over like 8 months to start preparing it. I start planning it out. A lot of stress and BS, but in the end, it was all worth it. We had 115 people sign up, and the day of the competition, 76 ended up showing up and competing. So it was pretty good. We're moving into a bigger area next year already. Already have 2023 planned out and scheduled the date set. So.
That's fantastic. And that was the first time in 6 years, is that right?
Yeah, there's been competitions before. Like the last one that I think happened in South Carolina, I think it was Tim's first novice show. That happened in February 29th of 2020. But for Strongman Corporation, there hasn't been anything in 6 years. But that was the last USS show, I think, was 2020. And I don't even know if there's a state rep for South Carolina either for that federation. But yeah.
Well, I think there's a lot of athletes thankful that you put it all together. I heard it was a wonderful show.
Yeah, I've had a ton of positive feedback. I only had one person complain, and that's okay. But everybody else had a great time. I had positive feedback from all the volunteers, the judges, the spectators, especially the athletes, and of course the Tough Expo. So I mean, it was all worth it. Like the day of, like an hour before check-ins, I was in a parking lot somewhere throwing up because of how stressed out I was. But it went so smooth that I have no complaints at all. I mean, there's a couple of hiccups, but it'll be better next year.
And then, Allie, I was checking out your IG. You had an interesting lead up to the show. Didn't you have to take a last minute trip or whatnot? You want to talk about that a little bit?
I did. Training was pretty much on track. I work in hospitality, so I worked for a resort. And there was another property in the mountains of North Carolina that said they needed me. And I literally had about 12 hours to prepare. And I knew, I was like, hey, well, everybody knows that I have a competition coming up. It's only 2 hours away from Greenville. So if we could just back it right up to that, like I will have to leave then and go from there. I literally had 12 hours to throw everything in the car and make sure I had everything for competition. I was throwing stones in the car. I was throwing my axle bar in the car, just like throwing everything ready to go.
Awesome. Caustin, you didn't provide your own equipment. She had to bring her own.
Of course, I provided my own equipment, but she had her own equipment for her training at the place she was staying at.
Yeah, I'm joking. I know.
Most of the stuff was mine. I did have to borrow a few things from other people, but
yeah,
next year I plan to have all my own stuff because relying on other people, not that it was a bad thing, but I just don't want to have to rely on anybody like that.
Did Clint make anything, or since he was competing, not so much?
He didn't make anything specifically other than the Denny rings. He made 2 pairs of those. And apparently, like, he had like 25 or something like that orders within the past couple of months of people training for the competition. So he made those. He brought me some equipment to borrow, but yeah, the Denny rings. That was I sent a feedback form to all the athletes, and that was the one event that everybody hated. Everybody hated it.
I can read that all over Tim's face. Tim, tell us more.
I hated that event. I knew I was going to hate that event going into it. So I just, did what I had to do, got a few points on it, and thank God I didn't zero it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw the videos and pictures of doing the Denny Stones. Like, the handles came out pretty nice. They looked pretty cool. And I know, there's nothing about a Denny Stone hold that's necessarily pleasant. So did it feel like a proper knife edge cutting into your hand while you're doing it, Tim?
Yeah, well, I felt like I was going to rip my thumb off. I've never done a hook grip in my life, so that was my first time trying it, and might be my last.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'd love to try at some point is a Denny Stone hold, but
I don't think you want to try it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's one of those things I'd like to do just to say I've done it, but that's it.
I've seen so many competitions have farmers hold for time, and that can take forever. I've seen people hold it for like 2 minutes, and that's a long time, But Denny rings, like I think the longest was just for men and women was just under a minute. But a lot of people zeroed it, and a lot of people got like just a few seconds. But I don't know.
I got like 1.5 seconds.
Better than I can do. I saw so many competitions with farmers hold for time, and I wanted something completely different to set, change up the points a little bit, and it did.
Yeah.
Even though everybody hated it, but I mean, I still had a good time watching everybody get tortured.
Yeah, here we go. We can look at the times here for the Dennington. This is on Iron Podium, if anyone's wondering. But yeah, it looks like most people. Yeah, there were a couple people that got it for a second or two, and I don't see anyone that got it for more than a minute.
No, we had. So I gave away like $100 to the woman who held it for the longest time, as well as the men. So the woman who got it, her name was Alicia, I think. I think she was open lightweight. She got second or third place. I can't remember. And then a guy named Kamal from North Carolina, he got fourth place in the 231 class. He held it for the longest time for the men overall. So they both got $100. A guy, he used to compete in North Carolina. His name's Joshua Dargan, but he's overseas in Okinawa right now, I think. He wanted to help out, and he sent me $200, like, give us his prize money for one of the events. I was like, all right, cool. So that was pretty awesome.
That's pretty fantastic.
Did you say I have to hold this for 2 minutes?
Yeah, I was going to say, are you just doing a farmer's hold for?
Yeah, I mean, hold it as long as you want to, John, but you got to hold it both.
But yours is cheating. Yours has knurling on it, I've heard, so I don't think it counts.
All rumors and false propaganda.
Yeah, there you go.
JF Caron, close your ears. I get in big trouble with him for knurling on farmers' handles. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen knurling in an actual show, like an actual competition. But I've seen handles with knurling before that people train with.
I have. I went to a competition in November, and they did farmers hold for time with Titan handles that had knurling on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what these are, Titan.
Yeah. I mean, the Titan stuff, like the Titan farmers are pretty cool, but seeing the knurling on it at a competition, I was kind of like, nah, don't like this at all. But what can you do? But some people like the knurling, I personally, I don't.
I think the knurling, I think it does help a little bit. But it's also one of those things where, like, when you're running with farmer's handles, especially when it's 300 some pounds, like, I don't know, knurling would help. But it's gonna suck either way. Like, you have to have a strong grip either way.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it hurts my hands, and I'm not going with 300 pounds in each hand either. But I'd rather not have the help and have smooth handles that don't hurt.
Yeah,
I guess you could put tape over it or something like that. Wrap it in athletic tape.
I wonder if they slide out.
Don't do the tape.
Don't do the tape.
No. No,
I'm just spitballing here, Caustin.
no, I worked at an event that was like kind of grip heavy, and we put tape on handles because the handles were so slick, and a lot of people ripped their calluses off, like a lot. Specifically, Tim.
I think they're replaceable.
Oh, there you go.
It might be. You could probably just buy a pipe or something, but yeah, don't put tape on it because I saw Tim's hand pretty much just fall to pieces, and I swore that I would never put tape on an implement like that ever.
Both calluses gone. It was pretty terrible.
That does sound pretty miserable. I've only ripped a callus a couple times because usually, like, I get a file and I usually file my calluses down so they're not too aggressive. And so usually they do okay, but I've ripped them a couple times and it's miserable because like you just can't hang on to anything for the longest time and it bleeds and I don't know, they're just a pain.
Yeah.
So Allie, maybe let's go in. So what was your favorite event and what was your least favorite event of the competition?
Well, least favorite would definitely be Denny's. I am really glad that I got them off the ground though, because I did the Holiday Highlander and I think we had like 75% for the women's ultimate class at the Holiday Highlander, and like it was the 11th event for the day and they didn't even budge. So getting my hands back on them again, like I was just glad that I got it off the ground.
I thought your favorite event was the other four because you won all four of them.
Yeah, those all four of them. I had a lot of fun doing the yoke. Honestly, my first time picking up a yoke ever was about a month ago. So that was definitely really cool. To be able to do that, and like I literally picked it up 2 times before and then hit the show, so it was a lot of fun.
We typically have a lot of yoke technique questions, so since it's only been about a month, are you still kind of going on instinct, or do you have preferred pick height off the ground, breathing, like all that stuff, where your hands go?
So before I actually picked up a yoke, I was training using a caber bar and really just doing heavy picks with that and like walking in place with that, because that was the most that I could simulate like close to a yoke. I mean, I'm still kind of going off of instinct here and I guess sheer strength at this point. But I did talk to quite a few people that talked about, keeping feet like normal walking distance apart and taking small, quick steps versus long strides and stuff like that. So a little bit of technique, a little bit of instinct.
Awesome.
I mean, you just have to beat the other people. So that's all.
Exactly.
Or score high enough consistently so that you can win.
Yeah, and I think our yoke carries came down to like 0.3 seconds difference. Somewhere around there. It was very close. We both ran 12 seconds and change.
That's pretty good. Especially for it being brand new. Have you done, like, did you notice anything? Because I guess when I've done yoke, usually it's with a really fat bar on the back. And so for a long time, I didn't have a yoke. And so similar thing where I would try and simulate it with loading a barbell and then dangling kettlebells off of it or something and trying to figure out something to simulate it. But then you get an actual yoke on your back and just the bar thickness is so different. That takes a little bit to get used to as well. Did you notice that much, or just able to go with it?
So I actually got really fortunate that my good friend Caustin let me borrow the yoke that was used in competition. So I did get to use competition equipment for the first time ever. And the yoke that we used, actually the bar on it was a little bit thinner. than a normal yoke. I know a lot of the girls had something to say about it, but I was already training on it, so I was fine with that.
And so, Isaac, we have to use our catchphrase from our other session that we had with Minkler and crew. Thank you, Caustin.
Hey, I mean, Caustin's the one that got me into this sport, and so he can just give me all of his equipment and everything else.
Nice.
Hey, anytime I can help, gladly.
Yeah.
I guess I need to move out there too, so I have better access to strongman equipment as well.
Come on out, man. We need more people out here.
Yeah, there you go. So what about you, Tim? What was your favorite event, and what was well, I guess your least favorite was the Denny Stones, you already said, but what was your favorite?
Normally I would say an overhead event, but my favorite was the yoke as well. For very different reasons. I've never won a yoke event until South Carolina Strongest. So I was very determined that was the one event I knew I wanted to win, and finally got one.
You won all the events except the Denny Stones, though, right? Or
Right.
I can pull it back up here in a second as well. Yeah, so it looks like you won all of them except for the Denny Stones. So
Yeah.
that's pretty good. You know,
The guy needs to get a pro card and move on from the amateur. I'm telling you.
No kidding, Tim. Stop ruining it for everyone else.
If he signs up for an amateur show, it's game over. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was fun. Like, there was a lot of cool guys there, and like a lot of guys that were just fun to hang out with all day. So it was a really good time. And at that yoke event, I actually went with a lower pick than I usually do, only because I really knew I was going to sprint. I was either going to drop it or I was going to win it. Either way.
I don't know. I'm jealous of Tim for another reason. I'm looking all around here and I can't find my Kratos shirt. Shout out to Andrew. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, he's hooked me up, man. I love it. I love all the stuff he's giving me.
Yeah, he gave me the blue one, so my kid probably took it. It's around here somewhere.
Yeah, he's been on the show a couple times as well, so he's a great guy.
Yeah, very cool guy.
So what about your training leading up to it? What was in your training? What was the biggest thing that you were worried about, maybe other than Denny Stones?
Well, I was gonna say I never touched a Denny Stone, but the Circus dumbbell was pretty new to me too. I haven't really done a Circus dumbbell that many times before, so I busted out my old homemade one here and tried it out a few different times. But other than that, I mean, I actually love the wagon wheel deadlift. I've been training a wagon wheel height anyways, so really it kind of helped out that I was already doing that. But yoke and wagon wheels, I do those all the time anyway, so I was pretty happy with that. But then the Circus dumbbell was a little different getting used to. It's just a weird position, especially that dumbbell too. That dumbbell was like, the handle was this thick, so you kind of just got to hold it for dear life.
Is it a 3-inch handle on the one in comp, or
Lisa, right? 3-inch.
Yeah,
I think so. It's Greg Popejoy's. I think it's a 3-inch handle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And my little homemade one over here is like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, if anything.
I know. When I'm messing with it, I have a pair of fat grips, and so I'll just throw some fat grips over it and kind of simulate it. But it's always so different when you actually grab a real Circus dumbbell and you start playing with that. And you're like, oh yeah, this is because it's smoother. The fat grips are rubber, so they're just easier to grab. And like, yeah, it's very different doing it with an actual Circus dumbbell. Is it the globe style, or is it what's the others called a barrel or something like that?
Yeah, it was like a barrel. The barrel.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think those ones are a little bit easier. I always have a hard time with the globe finding where to sit it on my shoulder. I can never get it comfortable. And
right.
I don't think
for anybody trying to learn how to do Circus dumbbell the right way, Caustin's been doing some demonstrations on Instagram, so you can learn technique there.
You're not gonna learn nothing from me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. My shoulder is killing me right now. Don't ask me nothing. I don't know who put that in a competition, but I don't think I want to do that again.
Buddy, I'm trying to talk you up and you won't let me.
Man, I won't even tell you how much that dumbbell weighs, dude. It is embarrassing. Let's move on from that. Talk to the guy who won it over there, not me.
Both of you won it, and both of you like.
Oh my god! Look at this. Oh, that's atrocious. You saw I had that muted because I'm breathing like I'm like 500 pounds trying to walk up some steps, dude. Oh,
He's strict pressing it. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, man.
It looks good.
Woo.
Speaking of, I don't know if you guys saw Julius Maddox doing running up steps. That was amazing. It's like I think he said I'm like the fastest moving man over 400 pounds or something.
He probably is. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have like been slacking on my social media game for like the past 2.5 months because of all the stuff going on with the competition. I don't know what anybody's doing.
Yeah, it was crazy though.
If I gain a few more pounds, I'm gonna have to challenge him.
Well, I wouldn't put it past you, man. You can win anything you challenge anybody at. Seems like you running through people these days.
I don't know if I'm going to challenge anybody and win any races, but I think I'll just stick to lifting weights.
I was going to say, I think Alexi might beat you with the circus dumbbell as well, but other than that, I think you're pretty good.
Yeah, you know who we had on, Isaac, recently, Caustin, from your show, did really well at Circus was Drew Brogdon. He won. He ended up winning his class.
I think he messaged me like a month or so ago, or maybe it was a little bit before your guys' interview, and he was like, "You should probably put my name on that trophy." And I was like, "All right, dude." And he showed up and he won, and I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not getting engraved, but here you go."
He's a confident guy. Yeah, he's cool.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, we had a blast on that podcast. They're all very funny.
So did you make some pretty epic trophies for the winners, or?
Dude, I wish I had like a picture to show you, but so my father-in-law owns a granite and a glass business, and he made a granite base and cut out the state in glass. So Tim has it sitting up there right next to his trophy. It's kind of
nice,
reflecting off the light. Yeah, that thing looks fresh, right? I'm telling you.
Yeah, that looks really good. That's cool.
Well,
pretty great.
He offered to make them, and he put a lot of time into them, so I really appreciate him doing that. But like, I've been to competitions. All right, I don't know. So say an athlete sees a competition they want to sign up for. They pay like anywhere between like $60 to $100 to sign up for this competition, not including their travel, their food, their prep, and this, that, and the other, right? And then they show up, and then they get like a trophy that looks like a third grader made it, and that to me is like it's disrespectful, honestly. Like completely disrespectful. Like I've seen things that look like they're cut out of freaking particle board, and I'm like, where are you spending this money on? So like I was talking to him about it, and he like offered to make something badass. I'm sorry, didn't mean to cuss, but he did, and I think that I set the standard pretty high for myself for the next couple of competitions that I host. But I will never give somebody a trophy that looks like it was some kindergarten art project. That's just, it's so disrespectful to me. I just can't understand why people want to do that. But yeah, pretty dope trophies, I would say.
Yeah,
I concur.
I was gonna say one of the small competitions that I went to did something like that, where it was a piece of like, I don't know if it was particle board or something like that, and they'd cut it in like a circle and painted it, and then each weight class had like a different like superhero action figure that was basically just like hot glued onto the particle board.
How much did you pay to sign up for that competition?
It was a cheaper one. I think it was like $25-$30, something like that. So it wasn't a big one.
You can buy a bunch of trophies for like $10 a pop online.
Oh, and these probably cost about $1 each. But like it probably went to like a Walmart like whatever bin and just grabbed a ton of them out of there. So like the super heavyweights got like, the Hulk or whatever, and like so it was kind of cool because you're like, all right, it's based off of size, I guess, and like, but it was still kind of, I was like, you could put a little more effort into it. So
Allie, what was your impression of the Circus dumbbell? Is it something you've done a lot before? Were you comfortable with it?
No, so I actually was training on a loadable dumbbell with a fat grip on it. So super sketch. I borrowed the loadable dumbbell from my chiropractor, Michael Rivers. He competes in strongman and powerlifting as well. So I kind of borrowed equipment from everybody, him and Caustin and whatever I could get my hands on. So it was really sketchy, but I guess it worked. So I'll take it.
That's the spirit of strongman. Sharing is caring.
Exactly. I mean, he had one that was like made of propane tanks and like 150 pounds, and I was like, well, my weight is 90 pounds. I think I'll stick with the dumbbell.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Which fat grip do you have? The blue one, the Pro?
Yeah, I actually borrow fat grips from Caustin, so yeah, the blue ones.
That's what I have, the blue ones too.
Yeah. I'll get around to getting my own sometime. Now that I'm getting way more into strongman than powerlifting, I'm starting to collect a lot more equipment. So
yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Is that do you fluctuate back and forth right now, or are you phasing out of powerlifting and more into strongman? Are you competing both actively? Like, what's that balance like?
Well, I've been competing in powerlifting for 5.5 years, and Caustin got me to sign up for my first strongman show about 1.5 years ago. This was my first open class competition, and I did sign up for another powerlifting meet. I'm doing the Pioneer Open in Texas in September, but I'm already looking to sign up for another strongman show. So strongman is quickly taking over my life.
Yeah, compare and contrast the two. What does strongman provide for you that powerlifting doesn't?
Strongman provides like a lot of versatility for me. It keeps things like really interesting. For 5 years, I've been training powerlifting. Like, it's great. You get strong, but strongman just like, there's so many different ways that you can train, and there's always a new event to do at the next competition. So, I don't get bored. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think that's a common answer. Strongman, well, powerlifting, you have your 3 basic lifts, and strongman, you have infinite combinations.
Exactly. And I also found that I have gotten a lot stronger since adding all the strongman training in. Like, I actually have a deadlift now, and I don't have a baby deadlift. So that has changed drastically in the past year, and I'm not mad about it.
Nice. I have a baby deadlift, so somebody's got to have it.
Yeah. I mean, I still consider myself to have a baby deadlift, but it's definitely getting there. It's like a toddler deadlift now.
Nice. Yeah. What was the first strongman event that, not like deadlift that you do in powerlifting, but something different in strongman that got your attention where you really said, I enjoy this different thing?
Atlas stones. Picked up my first Atlas stones last year at Greg Popejoy's the Foundry Classic or Foundry meet, and I picked up those stones, and I just had so much fun with them. I literally trained with them one time at Caustin's house before the competition, and then to me, I killed it. It was really my first time like going with stones, and I just had so much fun.
Did you use tacky your first time, or you just lifted it as is?
I used tacky. Like I think in training I picked up a couple without tacky or anything, and then we got tackied up and just went with it. This go around training for it, I didn't use tacky a whole lot. Like, I don't think I used tacky at all in training. And then on comp day, I did use tacky.
Cool. So
that helps like my grip a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, for someone who's never done Atlas stones before, what's your best technique tip?
Just stay with it, I guess. I always think like try to stay as tight as possible and just just hug the heck out of that stone.
Cool.
I don't really have a lot of technique. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
no, that's all good. Tim, how about you? What's your relationship with Atlas stones?
I should probably train them a little bit more, but I hate the tacky process. And when you get to like a 300-pound stone, you can only do so much without tacky. Well, I can only do so much without tacky. There are people out there that can lift stones for days without tacky, but no, stones are fun. I mean, I've never ran with a stone before until South Carolina, so that was a little bit different. You kind of felt like you were either going to A, like throw it at the judge and they're going to be super pissed at you, or B, you were just going to fall over. But it was fun. Stones are always a good time. For not really training them as much as I should, I do pretty good with stones for the most part. I think it's really just one of those things, like you said, you just got to like grab it and go. You can't really think too much about it. Get under it, lift it up, get it to the lap, and then lift and go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've never done Atlas stones, but I don't want to put tacky on. So I stick with my natural stones in the forest. I, call out to my hero, Jacob Finnerty, and try to press him overhead and just rip him and go.
Yeah, it's a process, but they're fun to do. It's just the tacky. You got to have someone there to help you, because if not, you can't touch anything.
I was gonna say I have 2 shirts that are officially my tacky Atlas stone lifting shirts, because the tacky is never ever coming off of them, no matter how many times I wash them now. So
Never.
Yeah, those are now my stone lifting shirts. The first time I got to play with stones, one of my buddies, he'd gotten a whole selection, like 30 some of them, from someone else who was retiring from Strongman, I guess, or something like that. But they hadn't been touched in like 8 or 10 years. They just sat in a garage, and they hadn't been cleaned after the last time they were used. So it still had all that tacky on it, and then all the dust and everything on top of it. And the first time we went out there, we tried, and we couldn't even pick up the 220 stone off, like couldn't even get it off the mat because it's just slippery. And so then we ended up taking probably like 5 or 6 hours, and we just cleaned all the stones off and like polished them all up, got them. And then within a month or so, I think we were both repping out like the 350, and we were like, all right, so it's a lot easier if they're actually cleaned and you have a little bit of fresh tacky on there, and that's it. Like, this is actually manageable. So
yeah.
So the last stone that I picked up at SC Strongest was super dusty. Like I literally had to, like, the video is me taking the gob of tacky and like retacking up, because I went to go pick it up and it just slipped out. And I'm pretty sure it was right next to that stone that just busted open. So it was just covered, and nobody else picked it up before me. So I was just like, oh my God. And then I just like sent it like YOLO when I finally got it picked up. And Caustin actually has a pretty good picture of the ending result there.
I wasn't trying to call Caustin out, but that last stone was crumbling under my hands too.
Look, I've gotten rid of those since the competition. I've sold 6 of them. Don't worry. That's what happens when you buy stones from somebody that you don't trust or you don't know that well. All the stones that I had from Clint Moneymaker, no issues. Stones from another guy, they were falling apart. They're painted. One of them broke, had a Disney princess ball in it. They're dusty. They're gross. I'm getting rid of them. I promise. I'm sorry.
So you mean next year they'll be back, right? That's what you're saying?
No, definitely not. I mean, I got rid of 6 of them this week. Like, they're all on Facebook Marketplace. You want to come drive down to South Carolina and pick them up, man. 15 cents a pound, man. I got you, dude.
Damn, Tim, for not wanting to call him out, you sure called him out. You're like you're like my wife, who says, I don't mean to be offensive or anything, but your clothes look like shit today. Like, okay. It's like, for not meaning to be offensive, you're really good at it.
I think Caustin's still feeling some type of way about it.
It's hilarious. Honestly, it's funny. I mean, I feel bad for the stone that broke and the guy that couldn't get a third stone, and people upset they're dusty and stuff. But not my fault. I mean, shit. I was trying to have some stones. My bad.
Hey, if you can't pick up a dusty stone, that's on you.
Hey, that's right. Yeah. Train harder. Dang it.
Or put more
I
time.
do pick it up eventually, but you know.
And Allie, for you, that was a 210-pound stone, right?
205 or 210, somewhere around there. Yeah.
200.
The heaviest I've ever picked up, so I was happy with it.
It's a big stone. I haven't lifted a natural stone that heavy, and Atlas is way harder.
Especially when they're dusty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've found some natural stones though that were close to impossible to pick up just because of like how they were weighted. Because we had one that was super, super heavy in one particular point on it. And then the only natural handles on it, whenever you tried to pick it up, it would try and roll forward on you. And it wasn't, I want to say it was like a 240, something like that pound stone, but it was one of those ones that you could always get to your lap. And then as soon as you tried to pick it up, it'd roll. And I don't know. So some natural stones can be really a pain. I'll say it that way.
Yeah, my problem is I need to learn to sit with them when I pick it up. Like I go right to my chest because I'm an idiot. And so I need to learn to sit with them and conserve a little energy. By the way, World's Strongest Blacksmith is in the crowd. What up, Tyler? Allie, you got a wild animal lurking behind you. Be careful.
Oh yeah. This is my co-host. So
I'm just looking out. I'm looking out for you.
Yeah.
Is he gonna come say hi or just hide in the shadows?
I don't know. He's real weird. He's like, I like to see what you're doing, but like also like let me chill over here. So yeah. This is my co-host Cheetah. So
he's like, that one crazy dude was holding the farmers for no reason. I'm not coming on screen.
Yeah.
So, Caustin, what's your plan moving forward? This is going to become a yearly thing, though, right?
Yeah. So this year we were in the 50,000 square foot room. Next, the whole expo itself, and we only had like an 80-foot by 30-foot area. It was kind of cramped towards the end of it. But next year, the guy told me, David, who runs the expo, he told me that next year we're going to be in the 100,000 square foot room, and we're going to have an even bigger area. But I got an email today, and it's actually 125,000 square feet. So we're going to have a pretty big area there. He talked to me the day of the competition. While it was going on, I was able to sneak away, and he was like using the strongman side of things as an example for the other people that were doing exhibitions, like weightlifting and powerlifting and stuff, because of how organized we had it. Obviously, there were still bumps in the road or whatever, but he was kind of hyping me up, and I was like, all right, I thought this guy was going to hate me at the end of the day, but he was all about it. So next year, we're trying to have some pretty awesome spectator-friendly events. Thinking sandbags, that's all I can really say right now. We'll go from there. But yeah, anything is like spectator-friendly, I'm probably going to try to have it there. No more stones inside, especially if they're crappy stones. But yeah,
no dirty stones.
Yeah. So
I was gonna say, I don't think it's spectator friendly for Denny stones.
Yeah, no, definitely no Denny stones either.
All right, no Denny stones. Maybe I'll do a Hercules hole with Denny stone handles. No. All right, I'm reading the room. That's fine.
I would watch it. I'll definitely watch it. I don't know if I'd want to compete.
Like, is it a democracy? Are we taking votes?
Dude, I've got plenty of votes that say no Denny stones ever again.
I know. I know you do.
I've got 39 feedback forms of people. Everyone said that.
If I get a vote, I'll tell you what I want to see, but it's stone related.
What is it? Natural stone press? What?
Natural stone overhead press for Max. What up,
Okay.
Jacob Finnerty?
Okay, we can do that, but where the heck am I going to get natural stones that for every weight class? Am I just going to go rob a national forest or something?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you go on a hike, you can find a lot of them.
You're
You
going-
can just fill the gap.
I'm trying to connect all the dots here. You're going to get them from Tim's coach.
Okay. All right, Tim, are you flying out to California? I think we should just do a road trip instead.
Whew, I don't know about that.
I'll pay
I'll
for
meet you there.
U-Haul.
You're gonna need to rent an 18-wheeler just to make sure that you can actually bring them all back.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
No,
for those in the audience who aren't aware, Tim's coach is the current world record holder in natural stone overhead press for max.
Dude's a monster.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen my interview of Jacob Finnerty on my channel, when you're done here, you're done watching all Isaac stuff and liking and subscribing, go over and take a look over there. It was a great interview. Such a nice guy. It's funny because like me being, I'll use the word layman, like compared to all of you, I run into these like huge intimidating people and you're all so nice. I'm like, it's a gentle giant.
I feel like that's one of the very common factors among strongman is just that like everybody's chill, and that's I've talked about it a little bit before where like I tried powerlifting a little bit and I was like personality wise, I don't know, I don't mesh. I feel like strongman is just a bunch of fat happy people lifting heavy stuff and having a good time. Like this is more fun.
I don't know about the rest of the powerlifters, but super heavyweights, I mean, we're just a different breed entirely. We're usually more of the big cuddly teddy bears, kind of, than the rest of everybody. And I the same for strongman too.
Well, maybe it was because the little bit that I did with powerlifting, I don't know. I was like everybody between like when your flight's not up or whatever, everyone's like sitting in their own corner with their headphones in, listening to their music, not talking to anybody else. And I was always that weird guy who was like walking around trying to chat with people, and everyone's like, go away, leave me alone, whatever. And I was like, well, I'm here to have a good time, and I don't know. I know you guys are trying to break records or whatever, but and I showed up at my first strongman comp, and everybody's walking around chatting with everybody else and sharing gummy bears, and like I was like, all right, this is cool. I like this a little bit better.
I'm usually that person, no matter where I'm at, and I'm going around talking to everybody, because otherwise people just think that I'm like really mean by what I look like when I'm about to lift. But I'm usually that person going around talking to everybody. Actually, the atmosphere on competition day was really awesome. Probably the best that I have experienced, of everybody really just being about everybody else and like helping them when they needed it and cheering everybody on. And that was probably my favorite part of competition, was the atmosphere was just unmatched.
That was something else I wanted to ask. I guess all three of you, Caustin as well, but like, because that's something that I've noticed is like at the competition, everybody is usually chill, goofing off, doing whatever. And then when it's your turn to go up and compete, most people flip that switch, I guess, as it is. They get it. You can see them get into that mindset, getting ready to do this lift. So what are some of the tips and tricks that each of you do to help get into that mindset to get ready to complete this event, whichever event that you're going up to?
I'll give it to them. This is all about them. I'm just here watching them talk.
Well, for me, like, I just kind of I zone in on what I got to do. I just got to run through right before I go. I just think about every step I got to do. If it's for the Circus dumbbell, like I knew that I was going to take my time. I knew I only had to get I was like third to go, but I knew that if I got a higher number, I should be okay. So I just taking my time, don't want to gas out. What I do is I focus in, man, like right before I go, probably 2 people before I start getting ready. I start thinking about my steps, start thinking about what I got to do. And That's really all it comes down to. And when it comes down to actually go time, you just got to go. You just got to focus in and just, like you said, flip the switch and go.
What about you, Allie? Do you have anything in particular that you think about, or any like specific series of whatever that you go through to prepare yourself for that lift, or do you just run into it?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same as what he just said. Like, I was last to go all day long, like very last. So I didn't want to focus too much on whatever lift I was going to do to begin with, because then I would like psych myself out and get nervous or whatever. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to keep calm, like keep talking or sit down, drink my water, and then like 4 or 5 people out, just start really zoning in. And then leading up, like as soon as I'm about to go, I just go full like warrior mode, and I'm angry and channel all of that into whatever I'm picking up.
What about you, Caustin? Do you have anything that you go through, or?
Oh man, I'm kind of just chilling, honestly. Pretty much like, so before I go to an event, depending on how many people are in my weight class or how long I have to wait, I kind of just chilling, sitting down, relaxing with my family and friends, other competitors I'm friends with, and then a couple of places before it's my time to go, I'll get up and I just kind of shut everything else off. I'm like, all right, I gotta do as much as I can, do better than the last guy, and then I just go. Something that I've noticed, I mean, like, there is that strong camaraderie in Strongman. Everybody wants to help each other out and have a good time. But I was talking to Josh Silvis about this. He said that like he doesn't understand why so many people are moving around all the time. Like in between events, they'll be going and talking to different people. He said that whenever after his event or before his event, he's sitting. There's no reason for him to be walking around. And I think Zadrunas Savickas has like the same thing that he does. So like in my last competition I did in October, I didn't really do a lot of standing around and talking to other people and cheering on other competitors. I just sat down. And there was only a few people in my weight class, but whenever they got up, I got up, stood behind them, watched them do their thing, and then I went up and I ended up winning the competition. So I don't know. Like I've seen some people that will be cheering on their fellow competitors, even in their weight class, or not even in their weight class, cheering them on so much that they lose their voice, right? And then that person ends up just missing a podium spot, getting 4th place, getting 5th place by like fractions of seconds, or just by a couple points. And I want to tell these people, if you just stop being so nice, you could be like 1st or 2nd place in your class every time you compete. But that's not me. That's on them. Like I would rather not be that guy. Like there's been a lot of times that I've competed that I haven't been able to cheer on my friends because I'm sitting down, like retaining my own energy. So I don't know. It definitely is like a flip of a switch that goes on. You have to be in like rest mode and comp mode at the same time. But then when it's game time, it's game time,
Yeah.
So you're saying that people lose competitions because they're too nice, and that's a common thing in Strongman?
I guess, yeah. They're too nice or too cheerful for their other competitors, and when someone's trying to pull a max lift like log, deadlift, whatever, and you got somebody, you're screaming at them, so your veins are popping out of your neck. You're wasting energy right there. Like, yeah, it's cool that the competitor's getting yelled at and stuff like that, getting that hype. But at the same time, you got to worry about yourself too. You have to worry about you because you're competing against that person. Or you're competing with that person. Like, why would you want to exert your energy? I don't know. I'm not saying anything bad. That's them. It's not really me. If I catch a friend at a competition that's doing an event and I have a little bit of free time to like cheer them on, I will. But I'm not standing up on my feet the whole time watching them and getting blue in the face screaming for them. As much as I would love to, I like to focus on myself. But if I'm not competing, I'll definitely be screaming and hollering for them.
Well, I think Josh Silvis is definitely a good example to follow. So certainly making a good decision there. I wanted to ask you, I know that both, both he and Victoria Long did a awesome seminar for you guys. And, don't give away everything that was said because, people should pay to go see that. But generally speaking, what topics did they cover?
They really just did like a Q&A for a few hours, and then they went into some event specifics. People were asking them about their diet, other nutrition, their training methods, their strength backgrounds, what they do at a competition, what they don't do, things they do whenever they're flying to a competition. Like Victoria said that if you're flying out of state to a competition, always have your competition bag on your carry-on. Never put it on the airplane because you could lose it. And yes, strong men and strong women are very nice and compassionate and want to let you borrow some of their equipment, but they could give you equipment you've never even used before you're training, so you can be screwed. So Victoria, of course, she's really popular for her sandbag throws. So she was doing that in the parking lot. Josh was showing a couple people how to log press and how to deadlift. And then they were really just like talking. And like I said earlier, about a few minutes ago, about Josh talking about sitting down often. The whole time we're at the seminar, he had a chair with him. He was like, everybody else was sitting down, but whenever we went outside, he picked his chair up, folded it, carried it with him, unfolded it, sat down. And when he got up when he needed to, but he was sitting down most of the time. And I was like, this is the kind of person that I want to be. Like, this is awesome. He just carried around a fold-up chair and just boom, busted it open, just sitting down. That guy's so big, when he's sitting in my truck, his left arm was touching my right arm, and I'm in the driver's seat. I'm serious. That dude is ridiculously big. He couldn't even use a seatbelt in my truck.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the photo of you guys together, and like, you're huge compared to me, and he just dwarfed you.
Yeah, I think he's got like 130 pounds on him. Like I'm like 355 right now, but he's like 490 in a brick wall.
Yeah, I was thinking I'm 182, 183. He's not that far off from 3 of me.
Crazy. That is crazy. I mean, he's ridiculous. He's the biggest human being I've ever seen that could walk around at that weight and not be in a motorized scooter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you spot which one he is?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Right there, he's like covering up the name of the gym.
Yeah, I know. Oh man.
No, but I had a really good time with them. They gave a lot of information and stuff like that. I don't really want to give away too much, just because some people paid to have that information.
Yeah,
we'll probably post pictures at some point, but it was awesome. It was both their first times having a seminar or hosting a seminar, and they did a phenomenal job. Like, I was in there for a few minutes, and I just walked out of the room and let them do their thing, and they were just doing Q&As for hours. And then towards the end, Victoria had some like bullet points written down. She wanted to make sure to bring up to tell people, like when you're first getting into competing or you've been competing for a few years. I don't know, man. Just like the one-on-one interaction they were having with everybody, it was awesome to see. And John, I mean, I've told you plenty of times, like, I think these titles are ridiculously important, and I want people to know that, like, it's not, it's within reach. Like, these people they're people too, They have their own thoughts and emotions, and people can be saying negative things online or whatever, and it does get to them sometimes, but just like the positive reinforcement they're giving everybody and the tips and tricks, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Kudos to you, because when they both won America's Strongest Man and Women respectively, you pivoted and reacted really quickly to get them booked, and I can't think of two better guests that you could have had. So really kudos to you for putting that together. In fact, for the shows you host in the future, maybe you make a series out of this kind of thing.
Maybe you're reading my mind, John. Maybe you're reading my mind. I mean, Josh and Victoria, they're welcome back anytime. Like, my family was hanging out with them most of the time because I had a lot of my family was volunteering and hanging out. But they're both amazing people. I've got nothing but positive things to say about them, and I wish them the best. I mean, Victoria is competing in the Arnold this weekend, and Josh is supposed to compete overseas, but I don't know how that's going to go because of the other world situation going on right now. He's supposed to do
Was it Siberian Power Show he was going to compete at?
Yeah. I haven't heard anything saying that it's not going to happen.
Right.
But me personally, I'm not putting my money on it happening. I don't know what's going to go on over there right now. It's kind of crazy. But it's both their next show. So she's doing the Arnold. He's doing supposed to be doing the Siberian Power Show. I think it's a team competition though. But maybe they'll be at like OSG this year or something like that. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, since you brought it up, like people that know me well know, like I don't talk politics. It's just I try to be friends with people, and that tends to cause arguments. But in this particular case, I have some friends over there. I've reached out to Pablo Kordiaka, Alexei Novikov, Olga, and our thoughts and prayers are with you. I just wanted to say that.
So we have not to change the subject, but we have a World's Strongest Blacksmith in the comments here too, and he was saying if you need stones, he makes some good ones, I guess too. So,
Look,
I forget where he's at.
Nothing against the World's Strongest Blacksmith, right? But when I got stones from somebody who wasn't my guy, everybody complained about those stones. So I'm going to stick with my boy, Clint Moneymaker. Dang it. But if anybody else wants to buy stones from Tyler, go right ahead. Support that, 100%.
I gotta find a way to make it there next year, Caustin, even if I'm in the crowd, because Clint said he was gonna make me some grip stuff.
He can make pretty much anything you want.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later about some plans that I have. I don't want to give anything away, but
cool.
Things are already in the works for next year that were supposed to happen this year that are definitely happening next year.
Nice. Yeah, Clint's the guy I always see on social media as, like, to me, like, Clint's the grip guy. Like, he's always doing crazy grip stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he competed as well as bringing me down some equipment, but his last competition was 6 years ago, and it was South Carolina's Strongest Man. And he wanted to make a comeback, and I think he did pretty good for taking 6 or 7 years off, but I think he might be competing again this year some other place. I'm not really sure, but Clint is definitely the grip guy. He can do anything you need.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of stuff coming from Clint as well. He made me a whole grip box, so it's a surprise.
Oh, it's like one of those like subscription boxes, but for Strongman. That's awesome.
Yeah. I got myself one, and then I got my coach one, so that I can get him hooked on that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
I was gonna say, yeah, if he's doing stuff like that, I might buy a surprise grip box as well. That sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you need to add to your arsenal.
Hit him up on Facebook or Instagram. I'm sure he'd love to make you something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, Caustin, I was wondering was about the Masters. So must have been pretty cool having Lynn Morehouse there with all his OSG affiliations.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I never met Lynn until that day. I mean, I talked to him on Facebook like whenever he wanted to sign up, and I was like, "Yeah, man, sure." And I borrowed some equipment from him. Last minute, he brought me a Circus dumbbell for the lightweight and Masters women because I didn't have one that was light enough that I could borrow. But he showed up. I think he had like 6 or 7 people that rode down with him, and a few of them competed. He showed up and he gave me some tips and tricks before the competition at weigh-ins, and then the next day it wasn't really like I told you so, but it was kind of like, hey, I told you so. Like, keep this in mind for next time. So I was like, oh, thanks, I really appreciate it. But yeah, he was a really nice guy.
Yeah. So again, don't give away anything for next year. But now I'm thinking that maybe he got in your head and you're doing a car walk next year.
Dude, if I had the time and the money to have Volkswagen Beetles with yokes welded into them, that would be awesome. But maybe there will be something involving a car next year. You're getting too much information from me, John.
I am. I apologize. My bad. I apologize. Let's move on to another topic. Sticking with Masters, good friend of mine. I'm glad David Huckleby could make it. Did you get a chance to talk to him? His daughter is awesome too. Sarah, if you haven't checked her out, she's strong as Huck on IG.
Yeah, David is a great guy. Him and Sarah were both supposed to compete, but Sarah had other stuff coming up, so she had to drop out, unfortunately. But David still drove up, borrowed some equipment from him too, and he competed. I think he might have got injured on the yoke walk, I think, but he was still able to finish it out. But he's a really nice guy. He got a little bit sick a few months ago and lost a bunch of weight. and was kind of nervous about doing the competition, but he still drove down and competed and gave it his all. He's a really, really nice guy.
Yeah, he told me a little bit about that before going. I reached out to him and he said, I don't expect to win, but I'm going to go through with it anyway. But yeah, he, like you say, he got sick a few months ago.
Yeah, he was a really awesome guy.
Yeah, he's great. Both he and Sarah, they're awesome. But go ahead, Isaac. I'm stealing your thunder.
No, that's fine. I was just it was actually nice. My wife's trying to get the kids ready for bed, and they were both yelling and hollering. So I was like, I'll just keep it on mute actually for a little bit, so nobody hears any of that going on. But I did want to make one comment about the car walk though, because I was going to say the plus side is once you have them made, you've got them forever as long as you store them properly. So it's only a one-time cost if you do it right.
That is very true. I think one of the things that Lynn said was the most important about having a strongman competition is having your own equipment. That's like the number one thing that like makes his competitions go so well is all the equipment is his. He doesn't have to rely on anybody. And that's kind of something that I want to do for next year. Start, fundraising, collecting some money and saving some dollars and getting some more equipment for next year to make sure it's all my own, or majority of it is my own.
And you need to make sure to have at least one event that's a great photo opportunity for the athletes and that the fans can really get into, so.
Yeah, I'm open to ideas.
Yeah, wagon wheel deadlift does look pretty cool, though. And I actually had a question about that for both of you. So, Allie, I think you did 8 reps, and Tim, I think you did 10. Was it too light? Or if you look at all the competitors in your class, like some of them didn't do as well, so the weight was correct. What's your opinion?
You want to go first?
Good.
I was like stressing it. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was. There was a couple of really big deadlifters in my group that I thought were going to pull a lot and make me have to like go pull crazy numbers. Luckily, like I think the highest before I went was 9. So I got 10 and I called it. I was done. I didn't want to have to. There was no reason to do 20 reps for no reason. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've been training so much at that height. It didn't feel that bad to me, but I mean, there were a lot of people struggling. So it probably was a good weight call.
Yeah, I agree with that. There were definitely a lot of women that struggled with that weight or got a couple reps, and then a couple that I think somebody had like 20 reps or something. Somebody had like a lot of reps. I needed 7 to win. I got 8 for good measure, and it was like I still had like 30 seconds left, and I just walked off because again, there was no need to continue and wear myself out for the rest of the events. Like I got what I needed to win the event and just called it.
It's probably one of the coolest feelings. Like you just get done, you're like, all right, I'm good. I did one more than I needed to do.
Like, yeah, I literally like my video, I just like nod my head and then walk away. I was like, I think I'm good, and then just walked off. I was really stressing that event actually because deadlift is not my thing whatsoever. My weight was 385 and I pulled 395 in training for super sketch 1 rep at that height. And I was like, oh God, like I hope maybe I just get like 1 or 2 reps. Like I'm good. Just like move it off of the floor. And I ended up banging out 8 reps with probably 10 more in the tank. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's awesome.
So adrenaline then?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Or all the training just really kicked in. When I did pull that 1, I was like really tired. It was the end of the week, various factors,
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So Isaac, I don't know if you noticed, but Tim got 10 reps in a class where Eddie Hall got only 2.
Yeah, I did see that. Yep.
We're busting chops because Mike Minkler looks like Eddie Hall.
Yeah, I can clear that up.
I wanted to ask Allie and Tim, like, do you think that the weights were decent for all of the events? Because like I had some people say that it should be heavier, and like looking at the reps for the deadlift, like I thought that weight was heavy. I didn't expect to see something like the Masters women, Sonda, of course, got like 21 reps.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Good Lord, that's a cardio event. And then the 231 guy, he didn't even get on the podium, but he got like 20 something reps. It's like, what in the world? I thought all these weights were heavy, and then I had people saying it should be heavier next year. Then I had the other half saying, "Oh, it was too heavy." And I'm confused. I need to know.
Number one, you can't please everybody. Number two, I mean, if it was heavier, maybe I could have done 1 or 2 reps and then been good with it. But I thought it was fine, man. I thought it was a good rep, a good weight. Like, if you got some people that are struggling and some people that are killing it, that's just their event. The guy in 231 who pulled 20, I mean, he wins that event every time. So.
Yeah, that is true. Curious.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's people that just like they have events that they really shine at. I mean, or unless they shine at everything, but you know, there's a lot of events that people really shine at, and maybe they're not so great at other things. Like maybe that person's thing was really deadlift, but then you have some other people that like deadlift is for them, or they're just kind of middle of the road. Like I would say I'm kind of middle of the road for deadlift. I was stressing that deadlift coming into competition. So I think it really was just adrenaline that took over.
The funny thing was I tried to make a deal with a guy who I thought was really going to make me have to work very hard, which he got second in the event. I tried to make a deal before we went. I said, look, no matter what, whoever puts up the most, we'll just go 1 above them and we'll stop at that and we'll tie. And he said, well, I'll think about it. But then when he went going, he kept going and trying to get as many reps as he could. So I was like, well, I guess I got to beat him now. I tried to make a deal so that we both didn't have to work that hard. But
that was Lofton?
He went for it. Huh?
That was Lofton, right?
Yeah, Lofton, yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to make a deal.
It's hard to call you out, Lofton, but it's on Iron Podium. I'm not giving away any secrets.
No. But, I mean, like, you know, he's a great deadlifter. He was actually a guy that I was worried about. I thought he was for sure I thought he was going to win the event, which, I mean, because I really didn't want to put up a lot of reps if it was going to kill me. But he put up 9, and once I got going, I knew I could get 10. So, which I usually I don't train touch and go. So, I always stop. So, since we were able to touch and go, it actually just felt way easier than my normal training.
Didn't that happen, Isaac, at World's Strongest Man? Was it 2020 with Brian Shaw and Terry Hollins, except they did stick to the deal?
Yeah, that's right. I don't remember the exact story behind it, but I have heard that a couple times where they had some sort of deal going on. But I know Eddie's made comments before as well, and Obi's made comments where, like, a lot of the top guys, if they know that they're good at something, they'll make deals just to save energy for the rest of it. But that one kind of bit Terry pretty hard.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people, not me at all, but a lot of people, wink, wink, thought that Terry could have beat him if they went like all out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think with where Terry was at the time, I think he probably could have beat, especially because Brian still had that hamstring thing going on, and like, yeah, I think Terry probably could have beat him.
And I think, if I remember correctly, I think that deal kept Terry out of the finals.
Yeah, because he missed it by like 1 point or something like that, making the finals. I forget the exact everything, but yeah, it was close.
Yeah.
Water under the bridge.
Well, now Terry looks like he's having fun doing bodybuilding, so maybe that's what he's doing now.
Yeah.
Or maybe UFC. Maybe he'll hop into that or something because everyone's going fighting now.
I hope not. I don't want to see another strongman competitor throw a punch. Oh, my God. I'm so tired of this. Look, this whole BS going on with Eddie and Thor's going on for 2 years. It's gone on for so long that you don't even have to pay for the fight anymore. It's free. It's free, and I'm still not going to watch it. So don't, Tim, Allie, don't be boxing, please.
Hey, Caustin, tell us what you really feel.
Yeah. You don't have an opinion, do you, by any chance?
I got plenty.
I mean, I might watch the fight. The downside is it's during finals week for me, so I don't know if I really want to take time out of my studying and everything.
Yeah, it's not worth it, man. Get that good grade. The good
Yeah.
grade. Yeah.
Well, I've got all A's, so I'm not too worried. But
You can watch a recap any day, man. Any day.
Yeah.
You can watch my recap.
Yeah. I was going to say that's the
Listen,
only
man.
thing is for our fans, John and I will probably do a breakdown afterwards or something. So I probably should watch it. But if it's one of those like 30-second fights where one of them gets knocked out immediately or has a stroke on the mat or something, then I don't know. There we go.
Hey, listen, plenty of people paid plenty of money to watch Mike Tyson 30-second fights, so there you go.
It's Mike Tyson, though. That's not a strong. Oh gosh.
That's a whole other topic. Like, isn't he
Yeah,
fighting
that's
one of the Paul brothers? There, whoever it is in big trouble.
You're killing me, John. All right, enough about the fighting stuff. Let's talk about Strongman. Allie, Tim, what is next on the horizon for both of you?
Oh man, you want to be a co-host? You're good at this.
I can be. It's a little bit past my bedtime, but I shotgunned a Red Bull before I got in here, so I'm good to go.
Nice. Yeah,
No genuine question though.
that was going to be our next question. So go ahead. Whoever would like to go first.
All right.
Well, I don't have anything strongman on the horizon. I am prepping for a powerlifting competition, but I am looking for another strongman show to pick up. As long as everything works out with my work schedule. I do work hospitality, and summers are very, very busy. So as long as I can plead with my manager and get a day off for a competition, we are good.
Well, I do way too many strongman shows. My wife will tell you that she gets sick of me doing so many. So I actually have one in March. I'm doing Lift Me I'm Irish just because it looked fun. Like, I signed up before the events were even, posted because I know that he puts on like amazing shows. So I'm doing Lift Me I'm Irish next month.
And that's the third one, right? Lift Me I'm Irish 3, right?
Yep. Yeah, I did it last year, and that's why I signed up. I did it last year, and I knew I had so much fun, so I was like, I'm going to go ahead and sign up again. So that'll be 3 months in a row with 3 different competitions. And then I'm taking April off 100% because I'm going to California in May to do Ode Haugen's show. And hopefully there I'll be able to get my Arnold bid for 2023.
Sweet.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so that's the goal. There's some very, very different events in that show that I'm going to have to really train for. It's very grip heavy, which sucks for me, but I'm going to work and I'm going to get better. But yeah, I'm so excited just to be able to go to California. I'm actually going to stay with Jacob. He offered me to stay with him, so I couldn't turn down that deal.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you know if they're going to stream that at all? I'd love to watch that.
I would think possibly. It's in the convention center for the Los Angeles Convention Center. So I would think they probably might have something. I'll find out for sure.
Yeah.
Tim, are you going to have to do Moss Wrestling there?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. So
man.
Moss Wrestling, I've been thinking like how I can set up a little thing here to like start practicing it, but I might have to travel and meet some people that that do it and try to get my feet wet a little bit.
Wait, Moss Wrestling as one event in a strongman contest?
Yeah, there's 6 events, and Moss Wrestling is actually it's a 2-day event. So Moss Wrestling is both days. You start it on day 1, and then it's like a tournament style all the way until day 2. To me, I think I'll be fine. Like it seems like an aggressive event. All you gotta do is just hold on tight and pull.
That's
Maybe.
really I've only ever seen Moss Wrestling as its own thing, not as part of a strongman contest. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's like Ode Haugen's thing though. Ode Haugen was he trained Martins and Martins won the championship. So that's his thing is all about grip and Moss Wrestling and all of the even the deadlifts, the deadlift that we do, we're not allowed to use straps. So it's gonna be a very grip heavy show.
Does he have a specified does it have to be hook grip or over under switch grip? whatever
For
you-
one of the events, the Apollo and Axle deadlift, it's a over. So just standard grip. You can't mix grip it. So it's for max weight. And then the deadlift is a what is it? Bavarian deadlift. Something like down by your ankles. That one you can mix grip. So
both of those are going to be sketchy, I guess, without straps.
it's gonna be a little bit different, but it's gonna be fun.
When is that competition?
May 21st and 22nd.
So are you thinking about doing regionals too after that?
Well, if I qualify for the Arnold, I'm already signed up for regionals. So if I qualify for Arnold at Old Show, I'll just pull out of the regionals.
Okay.
There really won't be a reason for me to do it except for just which I don't really need.
I'm going to be at Lift Me I'm Irish. I already got my hotel today. I'm volunteering, and then I'll be at regionals volunteering too.
Yeah, I signed up for regionals. I actually signed up for Ode Show before I knew about regionals, where I probably maybe wouldn't have done it, even though it's such a cool opportunity, like, just to go over there. But either way, if I qualify for the Arnold in May, I'm probably gonna not do the show in June for sure. Yeah, that's what I got going on. I got a lot. There's a lot of strongman stuff going on with me. I'm pretty obsessed. So.
Well, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, so I was looking. We've gone over the 1 hour mark, so we should probably start wrapping it up now. So if everyone wants to say any social media handles, Instagram, I guess if you're on TikTok or something like that, put your TikTok handle on here as well. And then any sponsors that you'd like to call out. I know we just did that with you, Tim, but you can do it again if you want. Yeah, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up after that. So whoever wants to start first.
Well, I mean, Kratos wearing their stuff. I mean, he's awesome. Obviously, you guys have met him. He's like an amazing dude. That's like my main sponsor right now. And you can follow me on Instagram at hometown_strongman. And no TikTok for me.
The TikTok comment was slightly facetious, but if anyone does have something else that they want to shout out, go for it, I guess.
How about you, Allie?
Well, I don't have any sponsors. I am a girl clothing ambassador. I do a lot with women's empowerment and things like that, especially through girl clothing and that community there. But I'm always open to have those conversations. My Instagram is Abbs_in progress. I do have a TikTok, but I don't really post much. So we don't have to put that in there.
I don't feel like strongman community is really on TikTok yet, so yeah.
Yeah, I like post random training videos and just like randomness. That's about all I post on there. I have like 5 videos total, and I've had it for like 2 years. So
Nice.
everything is on my Instagram page, Abbs in Progress.
And what about you, Caustin?
Well, I don't have any sponsors, but you can check me out on Instagram at What's Good Baby. It's WUTSGUDBABY. I am on TikTok, but I'm really just ranting in there. I used to post training videos, get a couple of views, you know what I'm saying? But I really just post stupid stuff on there. But yeah, keep your calendars open if anybody wants to compete in South Carolina Strongest Man or Woman 2023. It's confirmed for March 25th next year. And then also I'm doing like a small unsanctioned beginner competition November 5th in Myrtle Beach at Next Level Fit. It's the gym that Allie trains out of. Trying to get like a little bit of a strongman community down here in the Myrtle Beach area. So yeah, it'll be unsanctioned. Like 5 events. I'm planning those right now, but yeah, good stuff. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to. I'm not as strong as I look, but I do post training videos every once in a while. Other than that, yeah, make sure to hit me with a follow. You know what I'm saying?
You're too humble, man. Your silver dollar deadlift is no joke.
I appreciate it, John. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Caustin, you put some stuff up that's pretty impressive. So don't undersell yourself by any means.
All right, well, it's a little bright in here, so you might not see me blushing right now, but thank you.
Yeah, right. But although for the unsanctioned meet, that might be the perfect time to break out the particle board with some little plastic action figures and hot glue them together.
No, I'd rather just like get some kind of medals or something online instead of getting like the full granite and glass thing for the bigger competition, because this one would probably have like less than 50 competitors. I'm not expecting that a huge turnout, but just something to have like a training community almost. So Allie and I were talking about maybe doing like a weekly strongman training day at the gym if we can, because there's a lot of gyms in the area, not just like Globo gym type stuff, but there's a lot of people that train powerlifting and bodybuilding and sometimes maybe even strongman movements in the area, and we want them to know that there are strongman competitors in Myrtle Beach. There's like me, Allie, a guy named Michael Rivers, and there's like maybe 5 people max, but we want to get newer people in the mix for sure.
I'm trying to convert a lot of my powerlifting friends over to strongman right now. I know when I borrowed all that equipment for this comp, like we have interns at my gym and stuff, and I definitely taught them like how to pick up the equipment, how to pick things up properly, teach them techniques so that they can do things safely. There's a women's powerlifting team in my area that we're trying to get together, and I'm trying to get some of them to come join me. Problem is getting like lighter equipment and stuff so that they can start. I know everybody I train with is guys, so I have problems finding light enough equipment for me as well. Like you can't just start with like a 300-pound stone. So you got to work your way up. So we are working on that.
Well, that's awesome. And I guess also we did start a Discord a little bit ago for the Strong and Stronger live stream. So if anyone's interested in checking out the Discord and just chit-chatting with John and I about whatever strongman on it, the link should be in the description to the video. So if you want to check that out, definitely do that. Definitely, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and then head over to John's channel, subscribe to his channel, watch and like all of his videos all the way through because it helps the algorithm. Yeah, and I guess that's about it for today. John, did you have anything else that you wanted to mention before we go?
No, I think we're all set. Had a wonderful time as always. Thank you all for joining us, and yeah, it was great. We got to do it again.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic having you on, and yeah, we look forward to. I mean, I'm following all of you, so I'm looking forward to seeing whatever competitions you do next, and we'll be watching. So make sure you do well, okay? There you go. So, all right, well, that's it for today, and just everyone have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time.
See you.